Hello everyone, it's Demon Walker, and today I am going to do an unboxing of Goddess Story NS12. So this is the first one of the Goddess Story boxes that I've finally gotten to on this channel. You can tell it's Goddess Story based off that little frog. That means it's one of the official Goddess Story products. I've opened a few boxes of the Goddess Story stuff in the past, but this is the first box of this particular pack I'm opening. That said, there does tend to be a lot of duplicates, and they do reprints from previous sets, so I will probably be seeing cards I've seen before. So, just be prepared on that, especially out of 30 packs in one of these boxes. And then on the art cover, it's got some really nice art. From Viol, Evergarden, Emilia, and Blue Reimu from Toho Project, which I thought I'd pull out my Toho Fumos today. Blue Moo for hopefully pulling that Blue Reimu card, and then Tei in order to hopefully bless my luck on these pulls. So I like these packs primarily because this is the only pack I've seen so far that has any Toho cards. I've not seen anything else have any Toho stuff, and Toho is my main obsession. Alright, and then on the side art, these actually do have some artwork of some of the cards that you can expect to get, which is also pretty nice. You can even see an example of some art cards. You've got, looks like a possibility of Rem, some other lady, and then I know this particular lady is a common effectively, and one that I've gotten as duplicates, so you can expect to see that. And then it contains some card information on the side, and then the last side it's got more characters from Licorice Recoil, Ruby from, I can't remember the name, Oshinoko. And on the back they usually have like the different rarities. I don't think they usually have any of the rare cards, or the R cards, which I don't know what rarity rare is really supposed to be, but it's basically common that I could get. LCR looks like the highest rarity with a few SSRs, SCRs, SRs, CRs, and then rares. And then on the side, it'll usually tell you the different series, and that's all this. Hopefully this isn't the entire list of rare cards, because otherwise this is going to be a very, very repetitive box. I think most of the time they don't usually put the rares on these boxes just because there's so many. Alright, but otherwise let's get into it. Let's see how much I struggle to open this one. Quite a bit, it seems. Shrink wrap is my natural enemy. And opening it up, you can kind of see this is closer to laid out how like maybe a store would have it. So if I undid these perforations, I could fold it on these two little lines that probably aren't showing up on the camera very well, and then it would look kind of like a display model. Let's see. Yeah, those perforations don't want to come out, so I'm not gonna mess with that, because I like using these boxes anyway for holding cards. And then, as you can see, there's a lot of packs just on one side. And then if I pull out the other side, you'll see even more packs. These don't typically come with hit packs. They usually have, or they'll sometimes have like a promo pack with them. I don't remember if this one came with one or not, but if it did, I've already opened it either on its own or in another video. That is definitely a nice chunk of packs. I do believe these are 30 packs each. Typically 5 or 6 cards per pack. Alright, but let's start opening these up. Alright, and to start off with, we've got a CR of Asuka from Neon Genesis. So I made my thoughts on her relevant in another video on how I don't really care for the series. It does look like it's the eye patch version of her. which I think the eye patch version at least looks cooler, but I don't really care for the series or the characters. And then Raftalia from Shield Hero. As of this airing, the 4th season, I believe, is currently airing, and it's featuring her primarily in her home country. I like the light novels quite a bit. I don't really care for the anime as much, but I will still watch it. Mainly because they did do a pretty big shift in Season 3, I believe, that I don't really agree with. And that involved her being with Naofumi at the start of the arc rather than being with a different party. I understand why they did it, just because you want to have your main waifu girl always available. That way the audience is happy, but I feel like for storytelling purposes it wasn't as cool. But I do like the character, and I forgot to show this off for the last one. I'm going to try and remember. So all of these cards in the Goddess story sets all have a backing. And it'll give you various character stats, like their weight, height, things like that. And I've Google translated these before. These kind of amount to, I think, like smarts, cuteness, coolness, so on and so forth. This section is usually what series they're from. This section is what pack they are putting these in. So this is the NS12, and it's a CR rare, number 16. And then this is like a little fluff blurb. And then here's this on there. So on here already you can see NS11R. So that means this character is actually from the NS11 series, and that this is a reprint in this pack, which it means I'll see a lot more rares that I haven't seen, because I don't think I've had the NS11 pack yet. But it also means there's a chance I may not get every rare or SR in this set. I don't think they usually do it in rarities other than like the first 3, the SR, the CR, and the rare. I don't even think they do it on the CRs. But it is a very big possibility. Alright, and I do own several copies of this card from previous packs that I've pulled. I do not know her name off the top of my head, though. It's been a little while since I looked up to see who she was. Pretty cute artwork. Unfortunately, all this information is in Chinese, but it is all technically there. And she's also from NS11, so she's a reprinted card in this set. And then here is another lady. I don't think I've pulled this one before. She's got a cool parasol. Kind of dark-haired beauty. It kind of looks like she doesn't have a top on, because I see a sleeve, and then I see, looks like bare back behind her, and then it doesn't look like there's anything up front, but I could be wrong. Again, another series I don't recognize, another character I don't recognize, and another reprint card. So that's probably all for the best. Alright, and the first SCR of the pack. So typically these will have like 4 rares and then 1 SR. But any of those, I believe, have a chance of being a higher rarity. Which is one nice thing about the Goddess story, is there's a chance you could just get a really amazing pack. I don't know who this lady is off the top of my head. Nice little butterfly in her hair, pink hair, neat little ribbon. And on the back, it's her stats. And you can see on this one, she is an NS12 SCR. The higher rarities, like the SCRs, I don't believe usually have reprints, which makes these a lot better. But altogether, a nice card. Alright, and protagonist from Chugochara. I don't remember her name. This is specifically her heart form. I definitely have a lot of dupes of this one from one of the other sets. She's a reprinted card. But at least she's a reprint from this set and not a previous set. She's a neat character. I didn't watch the full series, unfortunately. And then this is another card I already own. Do not know this lady. She's kind of a schoolgirl looking. And there's no information on the back. But again, also from the set. And then this is Yuyuko from Toho Project. I've gotten a few of her as well, but Toho Project is always welcome. I do kind of think this is one of the weaker characters in Toho. And not in terms of actual strength, but in terms of my likability of them. But I also don't care a whole lot for most of the Perfect Cherry Blossom cast. Alright, and here is a new one. Maybe she's from Slayers? I haven't seen that anime. She looks both familiar and not familiar. Maybe she's even from a fighting game, like Guilty Gear or something. Because I haven't played Guilty Gear either. She's kind of neat. Looks like she might have some animal ears on her head. Overlord. I have seen that anime, and I just haven't seen this character a whole lot, if at all, then. Alright, but not bad. And then SSR. So 2 packs in and already no SRs. This is Rukia from Bleach with a nice little cone background. She looks a little bit different. I think her hairstyle might be slightly changed, but pretty cool overall. I really like the work they do on their SSRs. It always makes it feel nice when you pull one. Otherwise, you just kind of get a lot of rares and SRs, and a lot of times you'll get a lot of dupes of those. Alright, and third pack. This is from Sword Art Online, Season 2, Shion, I believe it was. She's one of the cooler characters, at least, because she's from the Gun Gale Online series, or Gun Gale Online section of this main series. But Sword Art Online characters are kind of mediocre, as I'm sure many of you are aware. There's not a whole lot to the series, and it looks like she's a reprint. But I'll catch up on Sword Art at some point. And then a pink-haired girl with a sword. Not much I can say on her. I don't know who she is off the top of my head. I don't think I've seen any anime with her. Asterisk. I can at least read that bit, so there's probably more to it. Pretty neat. And then I believe this is a Love Live character. Again, I've seen this character in other other packs. I believe 2 of the 3 boxes I opened prior to this had her as reprints in it. She's cute and all, but I've seen enough of her. Nope. Well, she has vanished into the void. I will probably get a dozen dupes of her later to show off her back. And Asuna, also from Sword Art Online. Neat captain's uniform. I do think she kind of works with that whole, like, coolness vibe, at least. And instead they just like to put her as a generic damsel in distress. Not a whole lot I can really say on her, just because I don't care for her. And the SR of this pack, so this is a more traditional pack where it's 4 rares and 1 SR. Is another small pink-haired girl. Unknown anime. That's kind of the thing with the Gata story. There's a lot of anime I don't recognize in these. A lot of generic artworks. And you'll see a lot of these over and over. And next pack. And this is a CR at least. Some chick drinking some boba tea, it looks like. She's carrying a guitar around, so maybe this is either K-On! Or Love Live. I think K-On! I think this is the chick that they like to refer to as like a cat. But I'm not entirely sure. It's been a while since I watched K-On! But not bad card overall. And another CR. This is the delusional protagonist waifu from Love, Shinobu, and Other Delusions. Very good anime. Very nice girl. She's She's kind of funny, at least. One of the better characters. And, you know, at least she's from this set. Alright, and this is, I think, from Food Wars. I don't remember her name, but she is the kind of ice queen that is the main, or one of the big antagonists of the first season. And then she eventually kind of joined sides with the protagonist. Unfortunately, it's been a long time since I watched Food Wars. I don't remember anything about any of these characters, like names, and she's a reprint anyway, so hopefully I won't see too many more of her. And Marin from Dress Up Darling. She's clearly displaying her best girl while dressed up for a date on town. Very nice artwork. And I feel like this pack advertises very well like the kind of randomness these can have, with 3 CRs, 1 rare, and obviously still 1 more card to come. And this one being an SR. So you get your rarities all over the place in these packs, which can make for a really, really good feeling or really mediocre feeling, depending on how it swings. The SRs are like you're guaranteed uncommon or whatever in a pack. You're rare from a magic pack, so to speak. I don't know who this lady is at all. I can't say much about her, and here's that back of Marin. I'm really bad about showing the backs of these cards, because a lot of these packs don't have anything interesting on their backs. And then you get a lot of repeats anyway. Alright, and next up, there's a dupe. There's a dupe. And then, she's technically a dupe for me, but this first one I've done on this video is Kurisu from Steins Gate. One of the best visual novels I've ever read, and a really good anime. I definitely recommend going through and experiencing it at some point in either form. The visual novel obviously takes more time just because you have to read it, and frankly, I needed a guide to get the best ending, the canon route. But the anime does a good job of going through the events of the story. It just won't give you some of the side girls. So if you don't like her as your main waifu, maybe check out the visual novel instead. Alright, and then another dupe. Actually, show off her back real quick. And then Nino from Quintessential Quintuplets. I think I've pulled a different variant of her in another video. Not the best girl, that's Miko. So maybe I'll get a Miko in this one. But she's probably second best girl if you ignore who the protagonist actually gets with. And I refer to a lot of these male characters as protagonists either because I have forgotten their names or because I feel like they're supposed to be a self-insert character and you're just supposed to pretend you are them. Alright, there's a dupe. I do believe she's a dupe for me, but not for this. Generic blonde hair with twin tails. I know nothing about her. Don't know her series. She might be Love Live, she might not be. It doesn't look like it, because Love Live usually has English on it. Neat enough, I suppose. And then a dupe. And then another dupe for me, but not a dupe for the channel. From Kill la Kill. I can't remember her name, but she's such a wonderful character. I definitely dig any scene that she has. She makes the entire show so much better. I wish I could remember names. There you go, on the back, Kill la Kill. Back from 2014, if anybody wants to go check that out. And my SER of the pack is an unknown lady in a nice kimono. I almost feel like she has a sword at her side, or she should have a sword at her side based off the art. Nice little flower on the bottom for the foiling. No information on the series that is in English, though. And since it's an SER, it's technically a whole nother rarity. So, you can kind of see in the camera I have 6 piles now for different rarities. Because I like to at least sort by rarity as I'm going. I think there's still a couple more rarities available. Alright, in the next pack, this is from Bofarin. I don't want to get hurt, so I maxed out my defenses. I can't remember her name, but she is an adorable character with her little turtle in the background. I'm glad this got a 2nd season. I hope it gets a 3rd season at some point. I think every one of the antics of this show are just off the wall for an MMO. They would never actually happen because game developers are not dumb enough to just unbalance the game around like one character getting so many stupid upgrades. But, you know, maybe it could in a VR MMO. And here's her back stats. And then a CR, pink-haired, devilish looking girl. She kind of looks like one of the characters from Little Busters, but I don't think this is her because she doesn't have the twin tails on one side. And that's also not their usual uniform. Maybe an exorcist of sorts. Angel Beats. I haven't seen that in so long that I kind of forgot who she was. I like the Angel Beats anime. I even own it. I should rewatch it again soon. Anybody who has seen it knows it's a very good show. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody complain about it other than how much it tore their heart out. Definitely a worthwhile character, a worthwhile series. And generic cat-eared girl. Not much I can say on her. I don't recognize where she's from, but she's got a nice outfit. And unknown series as well. Alright, and this is Charlotte from Infinite Stratus. I watched this series when I was a child through Dish TV, or one of those main satellite channels had an anime channel, and this was one of the anime on it. She is actually the best girl from that series, so that's pretty neat. I even have a figure of her. So, kind of glad I got that one, even if it's a rare. So I'll probably see another one. And should probably show the back off. She's a reprint, so maybe I won't get very many of her. And then a generic white-dressed girl, brown hair, little butterfly motifs in her hair. I don't know much about her, so not much I can say about her. And no legible character information for me. Alright. So despite having Toho advertised, I've pulled one Toho card and it's a low common, or low rarity type. So far not amazing luck on what I'm after. Alright, and this is, it looks like a guitarist girl. I definitely have some of her as well, but I do not know who she is. Nice blue-haired art, at least. Bang Dream. I've heard of it. Haven't watched it, though. Dupe of Raftalia. Another unknown lady with a parasol. I believe I have several of her as well. And no character information that I can read. Cute enough, but I don't know. The black-haired beauties don't do it as much for me. But I don't know. Could be better. She looks familiar. I'm not sure why. Maybe because she's a short, long-haired, white-colored, generic waifu. Probably a little sister archetype. Cute enough. Looks like she's making little hearts for whoever she's looking at. Probably her big brother, presumably. Unknown anime. I feel like I've seen her somewhere. And then the SR is just a generic schoolgirl. Looks like she was playing mahjong with all the tiles everywhere. So probably one of those mahjong anime. And the stats on the back. Alright, and a generic elf chick in a nice little military uniform. She's probably getting ready to lead somebody to a war of sorts, or maybe just she's an information broker. No idea where she's from. And another card I've seen before. Pink-haired idol, I believe. Don't know her anime. Nothing to state on her. No information I can ledge on the back. Unfortunately, that's a lot of these. Dupe, and Fern from Freerun. SR variant, so kind of generic art. It almost looks like the art from the anime. Pretty neat. I don't know if there's any Freerun cards I really would care to pull. I mean, I've got a Freerun, I've got a couple Ferns. It's a really good anime, but the waifus in it are not waifus I just care to pull. Alright, there's a dupe. That one's new, I think. It seems like this set has a lot of girls with parasols, umbrellas. She's from Love Live. I mean, I don't think I pulled this one. So, that's neat. CR, at least. Blue hair lady on her way to school. As you can see, a lot of these cards, they're a little generic. There's not much to it. SSSS Gridman. So, it's really hard to get all that excited over these. You're just kind of pulling these for very specific ones. Roxy from Jobless Reincarnation. I definitely have dupes of her already. I've even given a couple of these away. I like her. She's one of the better girls. I kind of feel like I knew it was coming, but it's a little silly that in the anime he is going for the harem route. And she has already been confirmed now as one of them. Alright, and this is... She looks like she might be from Yuri Camp, but I'm not entirely sure. She's definitely a familiar-looking girl. I know I've seen stuff with her series before. Yeah, with the star, I believe it's the main pink-haired lady from Yuri Camp. I'm almost positive. It's a nice, very chill, relaxing anime. So I would definitely watch it if you just want something to kind of put on in the background. Zone out to. And then Raphtalia, is this a different art? Or is this the same? I think it's the same. And then there's a dupe CR. And I do not know her name. I do know she's from One Punch Man. One Punch Man's not a series I care for. So I can't really say much on her. Neat artwork, I guess. I don't know, her dress is kind of boring. And then, I don't think we've seen this one in this video, but I have several of her. Kind of a cute, white-haired girl with a nice little bunny. I dig this character style, so even if I don't know who she is, I think this is really cool artwork. It's one of the more boring ones because it has no background or anything. But this character itself, I would almost watch an anime for just to see who the character is. Which, you know, maybe I'll look up that anime at some point. And then another generic schoolgirl. So, probably Love Live. The Goddess Story loves to use Love Live stuff. So, you see a lot of it. She's just kind of leaning down, not doing much. I don't see Love Live on that back, so she might be a different generic slice of life high school anime. Alright, and dupe. From Reincarnated as a Slime, I don't remember her name, but you can even see Rimuru in the background. She's neat. I don't really have any opinion on her because she's just kind of the generic. I love our glorious leader type characters. She's at least a good cook, I suppose. Need information for her. And I believe this is from The Girl Next Door as an Angel, or however that is. It aired like 1 or 2 years ago. Girl Next Door was basically like this perfect girl, and this kind of chump of a guy manages to get with her. I don't remember the full story on it, but it was a neat slice of life anime. Worth checking out at least. Yeah, there's that long name that everybody loves from Japan. Alright, and at least this SR is Rem from ReZero. I'm happy to see a Rem. I'll be happier to see a Ram with it. But very nice artwork. I feel like every pack nowadays relies on ReZero, specifically Rem, because everybody loves a Rem. Alright, and generic blue-haired girl with a cap. Maybe it's Miku. Maybe it's somebody else. It does say, looks like a night cord on there. But without it being the traditional Miku style, I kind of struggle to tell. And I don't see something saying like Vocaloid, so I don't know. And then a dupe. And then a dupe. And then from the Fate series, Rin, I believe is her name. She is kind of the main love interest in the Fate Stay Night section, outside of Saber. She's neat. She's kind of a rude character. So I don't know how people really like the tsundere archetype. I don't care for it. I rather honestly have a yandere because I know she's into me. You know, or this one, Joan of Arc from Fate Apocrypha, which is probably my favorite Fate series. She definitely cared for our protagonist. Siegfried, I believe, was his name. Unfortunately, you know, Astolfo kind of won because best girl has to be a boy, obviously. But very good artwork on this SSR. And this is the Fate Grand Order variant, I suppose. But that's fine. And I've lost count of packs at this point. But I still have a nice healthy number to go. This will probably be my longest video. And hopefully will not ever be reached again, just because I'm kind of being a little long-winded. I feel like giving a little bit of discussion on some of the cards is nice, especially if I know who the character is, unlike this one. Kind of a nice nursey outfit, but not much to say on her. New CR. She's got, looks like a shogi piece, so she's probably a shogi master. I don't know too many series where they use shogi. There's definitely some number. But this is not one of them that I know. And Dupe of Roxy. There is, from Quintuplets, the main girl, the childhood friend, and the lucky one, considering she's got a little clover there. She's nice. That's about all I have to say on her. I don't know. She's just there. She was an unexpected one, but she was technically the first one to be nice to our protagonist. So, you know, points for that. Alright, and I do not know who this lady is, but it looks like she has the equivalent of a Fumo in her hands. So that's kind of neat. I guess the Fumos are starting to do something. Even if that something is just pulling more of their own kind and not more Toho cards like I brought them for. Reimu, do your job. Where's my Blue Moo? Alright. And dupe. Generic cat-haired girl. I have copies of her. Not much to say on it. Don't know her series. There's her stats. At least she's from this pack. I can say that much. I don't know. She's cute enough, I guess. Generic blondies don't do much for me anymore. And then all dupes until we get to the SR of Yor from Spy X Family. So the SRs tend to have very, like, darker backgrounds, I feel. And that makes it harder to enjoy these cards. But I also do enjoy more of the muted aspects. I don't know. Yor's an okay character, but she's Lloyd's, so I can't really get much into it. You can tell I'm winded because I'm speaking too much. I tend to actually do like 2 of these boxes a day and do the videos back to back. Oh, and Philo, and this is a little awkward because I have the poster with this exact same artwork in my room. So, if that's any indication that these tend to be maybe ripped from random artists, I don't know. Like, I might take a photo of it and post it as a thumbnail or something. But yeah, I truly have this exact artwork on my wall right this second. I like Philo as a character. Honestly, Philo is probably my favorite Shield Hero character. But I do tend to like kind of the birdie types, even though I don't really care for birds. I just have a bit of a harpy love. And dupe. Alright, she looks like she is maybe a spear user. No idea what she would be from. Probably getting ready to fight a monster of some sort. Let's see. Unknown anime, but at least she is from the set. And then our last one is Ryu from Bocchi the Rock. I don't know her name. I'm pretty sure it starts with an R. She's the one that likes to eat grass and eat on the cheap. Bocchi's a wonderful anime. Everybody should check it out. Alright, and doing these boxes feels like a marathon, especially while you're talking. Generic elf in a school uniform. This one almost looks closely to AI. In fact, those fingers look a little weird down there. Not that you can see them from the text box. I don't know. It's a neat art, I suppose. She's a reprint from the last pack, so not much to say. Reprint, or dupes. And then it's a neat looking SSR, but I have no idea who she is. Blonde hair, very pretty dress. Maybe I will take a look to see what anime she is in at some other point in time. Oh. Lots of gorgeous artwork on the higher rarities. I just kind of wish the lower rarities also kind of met that same standard. Alright, and dupe, and From Future Diary, Yunai, you starts with a Y, don't remember. Gotta love the Yandres. You know she loves you, even if she might kill you and everybody you love. You know she actually cares for you. There's something to be said about knowing they like you that I feel like some people don't understand. Or maybe I'm mentally deranged. Who knows anymore. Alright, and from Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, we've got Toro, I believe is how it's pronounced. Kind of a basic art for a CR. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the CRs tend to have like this low quality art as well. But it's nice to get her. Not much I can really say about this anime other than it needs to get more seasons. The manga keeps going on and has a lot of cool content later. And I feel like the anime will never get there. So I guess read the manga, really. And she is... I don't know her name, but she's from, I believe, Familiar of Zero. I've seen scenes from the show, and it is on my watch list. I believe the show is something like she summons some random human guy to be her familiar, and then eventually falls in love with the human while hijinks are ensuing. I believe it even has 2 seasons. So, something to look forward to. I've got a few of their openings stored on my phone. That way I can listen to them. Because I don't use Spotify. I still acquire my music the old-fashioned way of download it and listen to on mobile. A lot of dupes until we get here. This is Demon Girl Next Door, the protagonist. Also, don't remember her name. But I own the first season. I think I even own season 2. I love this character. I love the art style of this show. It's very cutesy, kind of lighthearted and silly. And the whole I'll get you next time is always just funny when she's fighting that magical girl. I'd definitely recommend checking that one out if you like lighthearted comedy with magical girls. I promise there's no Madoka magical level nonsense in that one. There's no death, no gruesomeness. Alright, and Ruka from Kill la Kill. Honestly, this was one of the first anime I started watching as it was airing, back when it happened. I really love this anime. I rewatched it relatively recently, and it still lives up to the test of time. Everybody should really watch it if you can handle the silly fan service scenes, because it's just that funny and that good. We got a dupe. I'll show off her back real quick so I'm not forgetting. Dupe. And from Demon Slayer, she's one of the Haishin, or the big high-ranked characters. I don't know her very well. I think she's the medic one. I don't know. Demon Slayer is just... I watch it, but I don't care enough for the lore to really get into it. She's neat, I suppose. I don't know if there's really a best girl in Demon Slayer. Alright, dupe. I believe this might be Alter Saber, specifically Nero, from Fate Grand Order. I know it's Nero, I'm almost certain of that, but I don't know if this is her alter or not. Nice little CR. I like all of the sabers for the most part, and I mean she's a pretty cool one. Oh, so Fate Zero, so that actually tells me this is Artoria Pendragon instead, base version. because Nero was not in Fate Zero. So, yeah, I can be wrong. But nice little art. Another dupe, and this is the sidekick character from Railgun. Don't remember her name, but she has the ability of teleporting stuffs. Yeah, that's probably not her bed she's in. That's probably Mikasa's bed, realistically. She has a little bit of a fetish for her best friend. It's like she's trying to force a Yuri, but they ain't having any of it. Right, and dupe, 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 and a new SCR. Unfortunately, it is a generic white, blonde-haired girl in a school outfit looking like she's maybe getting ready to offer you a hand after you tripped and fell. Presumably dropping all of your McDonald's meal in the process. But, you know, at least she's offering you a hand. Not sure what anime she's from. Alright, and dupe, 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 dupe. And new SSR. This is some pretty neat artwork. She's got kind of a witchy vibe with the witch hat on. Definitely showing off the pits, but you can tell this doesn't care about the pits as much because it's not detailed. It's not like the more spicy sets I've already done. Maybe she's a caster from Fate that I don't recognize. Let's see. No, she's not from Fate. So I do not know anything about this character, but she's got some cool artwork. Definitely a nice pull there. This is the part of the box where we have a lot of dupes outside of higher rarities, so I say that and then I immediately pull a non-dupe. I believe this character is from one of the Gundams. This was a Gundam that got recommended to me because I believe this exact character went apeshit and started doing some weird stuff near the end. But I don't care for Gundam a whole lot, so I don't know anything else about this girl. And dupes, and oh, there is Ruby from Oshinoko. Very good pull. I don't think I've pulled any Oshinoko stuff up until now. I love the series, even if it's clearly an incest anime. I think they do a very good job on the storytelling on it. Very nice artwork on the series. Very nice art on this card. So I'm excited to see more. I hope the next season comes out soon enough. And the SR of this pack. This lady looks like she's from an older anime, but it is not one I recognize in any way, shape, or form. Kind of, I think she's one of those be the American, the Japanese think you are characters. Since a lot of those blonde-haired bombshells in the older anime tended to be Americans. I don't know, nice card, I suppose. And it looks like this is 6 till the end, so this should be probably pack 24. So we're finally approaching the end of this. Albedo from Overlord. She's I don't know if she's supposed to be a yandere or just obsessed. I don't really care for her because all of her love is programmed. She's kind of a dumb character. I don't know, I guess she's neat. I think she's supposed to be a succubus of sorts. Dupes, and our protagonist, I cannot remember her name, but from Madoka Magica. I'm starting to slip up. I feel like I don't really need to say much about the series. Everybody knows about this Magical Girl series. If you haven't watched it, that might be for the best at this point. Unless you really like the darker Magical Girl series. I do think if you do watch it, avoid the side series. I've watched it and the main series, and the side series was very mediocre, especially with the pacing and waiting for new seasons. By the time they came out with Season 2, I forgot all the contents of Season 1. And now we're getting dupes of the CRs. And generic, looks like silver-haired girl with a shopping trip. She decided to pick up a bunny plushie on the way, maybe. Or maybe she's just using it to carry what she already carries around. She almost looks like Origami from Data Live if Origami had longer hair. But I don't think I've gotten any Data Live characters in this one. And I don't believe that's Origami, because Origami usually has short hair. So, not much I can say on her. All right. 26. And dupes CR, and from Licorice Recoil, an SER. This is my second SER, at least. I cannot remember her name, even though I literally just opened a box with her in it. I tend to do like 2 boxes back to back, which is why I'm a little winded, because this is the second of the 2, and this is the marathon box. I like this anime. I want more of it. She's got the nice spider lilies in the background, which I feel like represents her very well, being a character who brings death to others, or in theory would bring death to others if she didn't use rubberized bullets and other non-lethal means. And there's some content in the anime that also kind of adds to using the red lilies. Alright, 27. Alright, and dupe. And, I believe this might be Mai from Bunny Girl Senpai? I'm not entirely sure. She kinda looks it, but she doesn't have... There's not a whole lot of detail in this SR, and that's, again, the issue with SRs, is they don't have a whole lot going for them. If I translate this, it'll probably tell me exactly what I need, but... There's that. So I've only gotten one Toho character. My Fumos are repelling the Tohos I see. At least I got a new CR. Based off the fact that she has a dandelion, she's probably a smaller character, around the size of a fairy or pixie. I don't recognize her. She's cute. Neat artwork. I'll probably check out her anime at some point, just because I like seeing some of those like small pixie-sized characters, and the series they're from. And then Dupeland, and ooh, so she's from Rosen Maiden. That anime aired like 2006, 2008, somewhere in that time frame. I don't see a whole lot of content on this normally, but then I'll occasionally see like a resurgence of the anime. So she's a doll-like character, and they kind of have a little war going on between her and I think 4 other dolls, just to see who's the true doll, like the true Alice or whatever. It's got like 3 or 4 seasons. You can watch it on High Dive, I believe. It's a pretty neat series to check out, but it's definitely dated. It's hard to watch at times, but that's pretty neat to pull her. And dupe, and then I do not know who this is, but I do know it is from JoJo. I don't watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventures because it's a little bit too bizarre for me. I think she might be from the 6th set, or the 6th part, however they do their seasons, but I don't know. I only know her just because she's JoJo. And JoJo characters are pretty obvious with how out there they are. Alright, last pack. Will there be a Toho character, and will it be Blue Moo? Let's hope so. Dupe. Dupe. Well, there's a Toho character, but it is a dupe. Dupe. And, character that looks like she might be from Arknight. She does have a gun, kind of foiling in the background. So that kind of sells me on that more. Arknight does have a lot of the, like, animal-eared girls in it. She looks like kind of a fox or a wolf girl. The backing does not tell me anything, unfortunately. But at least she's an SSR. Alright. Well, that is the NS12 pack. So, despite having Blue Moo on the cover, I did not get her. I was really hoping to get something with her on it. I don't think I got this particular pack girl, and I did get the Rem, and obviously I got the common, and I got the Ruby. So I got some of the pack art on there. In terms of the rares, I got 2 of the 3 SERs, it looks like. So I almost have the complete set. I got a good number of the SRs. I got a good number, or a small number of SCRs. And then I think I probably got a good chunk of the SRs, the normal SRs. Probably completed all the rares. You can kind of see it is a ginormous pile of rares. A good number of all the rest, with this being the second most common rarity, the SRs being a pretty nice chunk. So this is a lot of cards in this set, a lot of duplicates, and I think a lot of people don't really care for this set because of how many dupes and how, you know, basic the basic arts are. I've pulled like 15 of this one character at this point too, and obviously this being a card that I have a poster of that I paid like $40 at a convention for should kind of tell you this artwork is probably stolen. So be very wary of these packs if you don't like using stolen art. It's not AI generated art for the most part, I believe, but the artwork is definitely not sourced ethically. But if you don't mind that, and you just want to see what kind of stuff you can pull, you know, that's fine. Alright, but that is this video. I will see you all next time, and have a great rest of your day.